A couple of weeks ago, in the radiant sunshine and the scorching temperatures of southern Sardinia, I had the luxury of watching Cagliari Como live with my Nonno, a lifelong Cagliari fan. And the tactical matchup was fascinating, as you would expect from a Serie A game. Cagliari attacked in a 3-5-2 system against Como's very organised 4-4-2. And you can see here how when these two systems match up, it's essentially a man-to-man game. Como man-mark all of Cagliari's outfield players, and the only advantage Cagliari have is at the back, where they have a 3v2 advantage, including the goalkeeper. For example, here we can see Prati, Cagliari's defensive midfielder, is the free man behind Como's two strikers, whereas in this situation, it's the goalkeeper that's the free man as Como's centre forwards adjusted, so one marks the defensive midfielder and the other one marks the centre back. So in this video, I wanted to share with you how Cagliari attacked in a 3-5-2 and what specific tactic they use to attack a 4-4-2 Como defence. Cagliari's tactic involves the wing-back starting high to tag the opposition fullback and then drop off. The advantage of this tactic is that if the fullback stays, the wing-back has space to receive and drive forward. For example, here Aguero here has dropped off and now he can receive in loads of space. Conversely, if the fullback pushes high, he leaves space behind him for Cagliari to exploit. And the player that usually exploited this space was the near side attacking midfielder called mezza ala in Italian, or half winger. In this game it was either the Sardinian-born Deiola on the left side or Marin on the right side. Now, the next layer to this tactic is that if the opposition fullback pushes up and his centre-back partner comes across to cover the space vacated by his fullback, there is an option to penetrate inside. Take a look here, for instance, at how Deiola makes the forward run, which drags Como's centre-back out wide, which then opens up space for a pass inside into the penalty box for Cagliari centre-forward.
Dai, bravo.
Of course, it doesn't always have to be the mezza ala, the attacking midfielder, to make the run in behind, but it could be the centre forward too. Here, for example, you can see how the wing back drops. The attacking midfielder also drops to receive, which drags both the centre-back and full-back out. They're higher, which then creates space for a centre-forward to run in beyond the backline. In fact, it can be any player who recognises the space in behind the opposition full-back to make that run. Indeed, for Cagliari's goal, it was the left centre-back who recognised the space in behind Como's right-back, which ultimately led to their opening goal.
Prati helps it towards Luperto, who nods it on, and then Roberto Piccoli. He had already opened his account for the club in the Coppa Italia.
Now, despite Cagliari's success with this tactic, they were unable to sustain attacks, especially later on in the game. So, for example, you can see in these clips how they get stuck and they're forced to play long.
Non mi piacciono quei passaggi così.
From these clips you can see a number of issues. The first issue is the positioning of the centre-backs. They could give themselves so much more space to receive the ball, and coupled with the courage to play and get on the ball, it would mean that they would all have safe passing options to switch play, and that way they never get stuck. Secondly, they could make use of the goalkeeper so he starts higher and forms part of the back three. This way the goalkeeper could try and entice an opponent out, which would then leave one of the centre-backs free, which would then create opportunities for him to drive into a 1v1 and form a 2v1 advantage. And finally, a rotation out wide would also be an effective solution. For example, as play switched to the right-hand side, the right attacking midfielder, or mezza ala, could drift out and make a 3v2 in the wide area.